Welcome back to the Armchair Trader podcast, and this week we're talking about the topic of Forex robots, otherwise known as expert advisors. These are systematic trading programs that get used a lot by traders of Forex. But what are they really? How do they work? And what are some of the risks involved? Well, today we're talking to Oliver Templeton and Rob Shutler from IFXRobot, who have a program of their own, and we'll be learning a little bit more about these. Welcome, Rob and Ollie. Can you tell me a little bit more about what a Forex robot is? What does it essentially do for traders or for people looking at the FX market? Rob Shutler.
Sure. I mean, in a nutshell, a Forex robot is basically a computer program. It's a program that helps you automate your trading. The ones that we specialize in, they're classed as, Forex robots or expert advisors. And it's a computer program that installs into your trading platform, which will be in this case the MetaTrader 4. And it's basically can automate a trading strategy. So as we all know, there are thousands of strategies out there that people utilize when they trade, but it can be very time consuming and so on. So you can upload your strategy, if you like, to these expert advisors or Forex robots. You program the strategy, plug it into your platform, and it basically automates that strategy for you.
Thanks, Rob. Is there a lot of customization involved in this as well?
It's not really just sort of plug and play. You know, there'll be settings and inputs that you need to sort of optimize in order to activate the trading. A Forex robot is a computer file that automates a trading strategy and basically saves you a lot of time.
Are most robots only able to run on MT4 or MT5, or do people run them on other trading systems or on proprietary broker platforms?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many ways to sort of automate strategy. The Forex robots that go with MT4, they're sort of quite well known, but you have CTrader. That's a separate platform, and they call their algorithms, I think they call them C-bots. And in general, pretty much any platform has the ability to have an automated program or a robot, if you like, installed on it. The MetaTrader 4 is obviously a very well-known platform, and so that's where you have sort of a marketplace for them and where a lot of the developers specialize in them. But you can use other platforms, definitely CTrader, LMAX, and I think also the Saxo's platform, they have an automated sort of section on their platform as well.
Why use one? Why would a trader use one? Why would an investor consider using a Forex robot?
There's a lot of very good robots out there. There are some good, there are some bad, but they can perform very well. And so we all like to trade the markets, we all like to sort of dabble, and it's obviously very time consuming. So if you want to trade the markets, you don't have the time, but obviously you do want to sort of learn about them and so on. You can use a robot and it will do 99% of the hard work for you. You can open an account with a broker, install the software on your platform, and then click go, and it does all the trading for you. Obviously, it's there are risks involved and so on, so it's not a sort of a surefire win every time. You need to understand what the robot's doing, understand where the risks are, and so on. But in a nutshell, it can do pretty much all the trading for you, and you can just monitor on your mobile phone.
Oliver Templeton.
One of the biggest points is that it takes emotion out of the game. Using an FX robot or a robot, it's something that's given a specific set of instructions, and it'll do exactly as instructed. A robot won't come in the morning with a hangover. It won't have an argument with his wife. It'll do exactly what it's programmed to do. And thus, when people are or have traded in the markets, a lot of people get caught up with emotion. So definitely one of the benefits is it removes that emotion.
Thanks, Ollie. If you look at the market for robots, there's a lot of them out there. What are the sort of criteria people should be looking at when they go looking at robots? Because I think, as you've pointed out to me in the past, just on the MT4 trading platform, you can see dozens and dozens of possible programs you could actually make use of to trade FX markets. It can be quite bewildering if you're going down this road looking at these. I mean, what are some of the key selection criteria you think traders should be looking at when they are testing out robots?
I mean, in my opinion, it's all about the risk that you're willing to take. So you obviously want to sort of understand what the robot could potentially make you per month with regards to return. Some quite conservative, sort of 1-2%, and some can do obviously up to 10%, but that's obviously a high risk strategy. So if you're new to robots, you need to sort of say to yourself, right, I'm going to put this money in, I'm willing to risk sort of say 10, 20 or 30% of the funds. And so at that point, you need to understand that the robot has all that risk management built in. As you've said, there's a lot out there, and some of them you can just click go and then you let them do their own thing, and they can get into trouble because they don't have the right risk parameters, they don't have the right cutoff points, stop losses, and so on. So in my opinion, the most important thing to understand is how is your robot going to manage the risk when it starts trading for you?
I think as well, the customer support. I think it's all very well and good, if you're on the MT4 platform, you can see all these various style robots and you're thinking, which one am I going to pick? I think it's always best to go with one which has a company behind it, or someone behind it at least, who can explain things to you as to what potentially the behaviors of the algorithm will be and what to expect. And I think having a support team there to discuss various features of the algorithm is, in my respect, a key aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's why IFX has managed to sort of have such a loyal following, if you like. All those algos you buy online, you'll get a PDF and maybe a video, and that'll be it. And, once you're trading, if you're in a bad sort of trade or something's not going well, a PDF or video is not going to help you. You need someone to speak to. You need personal touch. And that's what we're quite passionate about, looking after the client once they purchase the software, updating the software for them, and just sort of keeping an eye on what they're doing. Some clients might choose bad currency pairs, or they might put, a decimal place in the wrong spots. That can have a really bad, impact on your algorithm if you make those mistakes. So what we like to do is support all of our clients throughout the whole process so we can avoid those mistakes.
How much manual involvement does a client have with something like, for example, your own system? It's not just simply I upload the software, I plug it into my trading system, I flick the switch and sit back and watch it make money. It's a little bit more, there's a little bit more of a decision process there, isn't there?
Yeah. So first they would select an algorithm. I mean, we have about 3 main algorithms that we're sort of selling at the moment. And we'll say, look, Mr. Client, so this algorithm is a retracement system. All you'll need to do is select your currency pairs, put in your risk settings. That's the main inputs that's needed. And then obviously they need to understand the risks that are involved. But then we have another system that just does like 1 trade a day. And so that's quite conservative. And so a client might say that I prefer a relatively conservative setup. I just want to trade maybe 1 currency pair. I'd like a sort of a tight stop loss to manage my risk. And so that's the kind of input you'll get from the client side.
Getting to understand their appetite for risk is the key. And that's what we do before any algorithm goes live. We always sit down with the client and have a good chat with them and understand what their expectations are for the markets and what they're looking to achieve.
Right. And this is one of your sort of, I guess, competitive advantages, is the fact that you're able to, you do that hand holding, whereas I'm guessing quite a few of the programs out there, more a case of you download it, here's the instruction manual, off you go, and you have to figure it out for yourself.
Exactly.
And that's very daunting when a problem takes place, or something's not right. It's not nice having to deal with that yourself and not having a professional to talk to. Whereas that's the gap in the market that I identified. People, they want to trade. It's very hard to trade, let's face it. The majority of people lose money. If you can sell algorithms that actually perform and look after your clients and offer them sort of an after-sales service as well, then there was a gap in the market for that, and that's what we specialize in, really.
How did you guys decide to get into this line of work in developing an algorithm for Forex trading? What was it that what were you doing before, and why was it that you decided to build something like this?
I always worked at the brokers, so I've worked at Forex brokers for years, and I was on the sales side. I'd constantly speak to clients, and it was just crazy to see the problems the clients were experiencing, and how inexperienced sometimes they were. And they'll do these training courses and they wouldn't seem any wiser as to how to trade. And so you can obviously build algorithms that basically calculate the majority of the trades for you. You just need to put in a couple of settings of your own in order to sort of complete the system. The reason that, I set it up is for years of speaking to frustrated clients at Forex brokers. I was thinking if we can design some software that helps them, reduces losses, then there's obviously going to be a lot of demand for it.
I've known Rob for many years now, and what we noticed while working on the broker side is that the shifting trend between manual trading and algorithmic trading was weighted heavily to one side, always has been, to the manual side. And over the years, what we saw was a gradual shift. Think of a seesaw in your mind from sort of 80% manual to 20% robot. And over the years, it started to go heavily weighted towards the robot side, and we saw a gap in the market, and our entrepreneurial spirit popped up, and here we are 5 years later.
When you're talking to your clients, are they? I mean, we've already mentioned the fact that it might not necessarily be a good idea to hand your entire trading account over to a Forex robot straight away. Do you find that they are, when they dip their toe in the water, do they test it for a period, or do they provide it with a portion of their trading capital and then gradually move more and more of it over to the robot, or do they like to keep a portion of it for their own trading as well?
That's a good question. I mean, generally, when you have your trading account, a lot of people will start off low, sort of 5,000-10,000, just to sort of gauge it. With regards to that account, we always say to the client, look, don't manually trade that account, because when you manually trade an account that already has an algorithm trading, it can clash and cause problems. Mm-hmm. So they might have a separate manual trading account that they trade themselves, and that's completely separate. But clients do generally start off slow. I mean, we have one very good client. He just starts off with 5,000, and he has significantly more than that now. Because you have to sort of dip your toe in with these things. Because we want our clients to understand the risks and the swings and so on before they deposit significant sums.
I think it's also fair to say that, with the majority of our clients who have started off, dipping their toe in the water, as you said, Stuart, but we found the majority of them also put in significantly more funds into it, because it's something that, they enjoy the experience for one, but secondly, while our algos are built more on the conservative side, the consistency of the returns is something that that they like a lot, and something that they see and like a lot more than their other traditional investments.
Mm-hmm. And can you explain a little bit more about the different trading systems that you are now actually offering to people?
The two main systems that we have at the moment, one will be classed like a breakout strategy, which is one of my favorite systems, and it's been sort of our bread and butter for years. We call it the strike system. It generally specializes in trading the euro dollar, but it does actually trade a lot of other pairs now. We've been optimizing it for different pairs. And it will simply analyze the day's trading. So say if we activate the algo today, it will look at Thursday's trading. Mm-hmm. And then tomorrow morning, it will place pending orders. So not live trades, but orders on the euro dollar. Generally, it'll be one long and one short. And then so the client can obviously see that on their account or on their phone. And then the logic that's built in is that if one of the trades gets hit, there's generally a bit of inertia in that direction, and there's the potential for it to hit some profits. Once the trade is actually hit and it's live, a stop loss automatically triggers, a floating trading stop loss is installed as well. And so that's one that has been really good for us. And you can also set it up so it's extremely conservative if you want. You can have quite small trade sizes and so on. You can go really low risk on that one, or you can go really high risk. That's something we support our clients with. But that's our breakout system. And then we have another one which we're very busy with as well. That's more of a retracement system where it will sort of, buy or sell into a trend with the anticipation of it turning. But it has a lot of other sort of bells and whistles. It's trades with multiple pairs, has correlation filters to avoid any sort of too many of the same pairs being traded. But yeah, those are the two main models that we sell to our clients at the moment.
When you're kind of setting it up, and there are decisions to be made about the risks, and for example, one of the big ones is which pairs are you going to trade? Presumably, something like this is always going to work better in some of the bigger pairs rather than going off and using it to try and trade, say, the Turkish lira, for example.
No, we generally our algos are already optimized for certain pairs, but we did have an algorithm once where the client could choose any pair they wanted. They could just put it onto the Mexican peso, Hungarian florins, and some insane pairs. And we just found them selecting some stupid pairs, and it was just causing problems. We kind of said, look, avoid these ones, but because they could do it, they just made mistakes every now and then, and they just couldn't help themselves. So in general, all of our algorithms are now pre-designed, optimized for certain pairs to try and avoid that happening in the future, basically.
We're talking about a piece of software here. How much work is involved on your side in sort of improving it or modifying it or coming up with updates? Is that something that you do on a continuous basis?
Yes, that's non-stop. I mean, because the markets are always changing, the environment's always changing, so you need to have your algorithm set up for that environment. We're always looking for new trading systems. The key is to find a great idea, a great trading system, then automate it into an algorithm, and then make it user-friendly for the end client. And that's a continuous process because obviously, it's the financial markets. You need to continually sort of change in order to adapt to them. And there's just a lot of potential new sort of systems and programmers always out there. So, that's the majority of the work, improving our existing systems and developing new ones.
I think to answer your question, sure. I mean, certainly over the years, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, I think we've probably spent thousands of hours developing and redeveloping and twisting and tweaking the systems. I mean, we update the algos on a daily basis. With small things to large things. So it's as Rob said, it's an ongoing process, but it's going well.
If you look at things from a day-to-day life perspective, there are more and more programs involved in everything you do. For example, from booking your holidays to ordering your groceries from a supermarket. Do you think that, and I know you mentioned earlier that the majority of traders are still private traders are trying to trade Forex markets manually, but do you see a future where that's actually going to go the other way and we're going to see more people using Forex robots and expert advisors just as a matter of course?
Yeah. I mean, the automated trading industry, obviously, it's been on the up for years. It's continuing to. In order to trade properly manually, as we all know, it's very hard. And if you're good at it, you're either just a natural or you've done years of hard work in order to become that trader. And people don't have time these days, and you do risk losing more money, in my opinion, if you try and go the manual route. And so, in general, I think the industry is going to continue to get a lot more attention by traders worldwide, which means an opportunity for the technology to get better. This type of technology, it has been around a while, but it's getting better and better. We get our clients virtual private servers in the same server room as all the big banks and everything. We're continually sort of looking for the best technology to provide to our clients. And I think, to answer your question, I think it's going to be going a lot more automated than manual for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the way the industry is developing at the moment, I think everyone is trying to shift over to the holy grail, which is AI. And that's definitely something that we've been working on. It's a big ask, but everyone's looking for a system that can think for itself without having to use the strict parameters that are generally used for EA systems today. Yeah. With the AI, having something that's free thinking is certainly round the corner. I mean, how many years off, I don't know, but that's the way things are generally progressing too.
Yeah. And how have you found, I mean, taking like the last 6 months, which have they've been turbulent months as far as the share markets are concerned. How have you found things from your perspective with the Forex markets and the behavior of your trading programs?
This year's been tempestuous, to say the least. I mean, pardon me, March, obviously, that was the beginning of the month was the crash. There was terrible stuff in general. But I've never seen volatility in the FX market like that month. Every single currency pair was going insane. Now, our clients had a cracking month because the algorithms love volatility. They love things to go up and down, up and down. And every currency pair did that in March. And so we had a crazy month. Since then, we have seen certain pairs calm down. The markets have sort of become a bit more trendy when everything goes in one direction. That's when our breakout system would do very well because it would just follow a trend as the pair trades. But I mean, 2019 was stress-free compared to 2020, that's for sure. 2019 was just relatively stable on a lot of currency pairs, if I recall. But this year, March, we saw the pound get to the lowest level against the dollar in like 35 years or something. Yeah. Currencies were just crashing left, right, and centre. It was insane. It's been certainly a learning curve, but a very profitable one for some of our clients, definitely.
I was going to say, on the whole, it's been a good year.
When the markets are flat, that's when you can't really do anything. When there's no because sometimes you're literally the euro dollar will have like a 20, 30 pip range throughout the whole day, which is not much. And when there's no movements, there's just no opportunity to trade. So that's when you just got to sit back and just wait for the volatility to come back.
I mean, there's been days this year where we've seen easily 150 to 250 pip ranges in a day on things like the euro dollar. It's been good fun.
Yeah, and then the Aussie pairs were all crashing at the beginning of March. Now they're all recovering. So you look at any chart, and 2020 has been massively volatile for FX.
And do you find that some of your clients will use more than one of your programs, or will they tend to have one they like and that's the one they stick with?
They'll usually have. That's a good question because generally they'll have one that they like because I think it was a year or so ago we had an algorithm and the markets were going a bit wild and we suggested to our clients to sort of switch and just change the strategy, and they did, and the new strategy was doing really well, but it was a lot less trades. There was only one trade a day or two trades a day, whereas the other system had sort of 20 or 30 trades. And so then they all switched back to the old system because they missed seeing all the flashing lights on their mobile phone and all the trades kicking off. So the funny thing about it is it's the experience is kind of equally as important as making money to some clients. And so that it's just fascinating to see how people sort of choose their algorithms and how they enjoy them. In general, clients will stick to sort of one, maybe two max.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, we've got lots of clients who switch up the algos on a regular basis, depending on how they feel the market's going and what they're looking to do. But I would definitely go what Rob says, where clients maximum of sort of between 2, sometimes 3 algos per account.
Right, and I guess you've sort of hit the nail on the head there. One of the advantages of something like this is, let's say you're going away on holiday for 2 weeks, you just switch the algo off. You're not in the market at all. You can go and sit on the beach with peace of mind and then come back, switch it back on once you go home. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, some clients, they're so casual about it, they just turn it on and they just literally don't check for weeks. And it's, you'll call them up and say, Mr. Klein, you keep an eye on your account. They can be pretty hands off. I'd call them armchair traders, maybe. But yeah, that's so true. You can just literally by a click of a button turn off auto trading, then come back and start trading again whenever you want. It's really user friendly and very transparent as well. I mean, in essence, it is technically an investment product. They are seeing a return, but there's no sort of it's not like there's no hidden charges like a performance fee or management fees. They can just see everything on their phone. And they're 100% in control, They can deposit and withdraw daily.
The popularity of why we've been so popular amongst investors is because of the transparency and ease of use of the products. When we were building this whole thing, we wanted to structure it to be as transparent as possible, via the app, via email, to go out and things like that. It's something nowadays which I think is a key aspect that clients look for.
Just finally, can you say anything about what's going to be happening next at IFXRobot? Is there anything you've got in the pipeline or future developments?
Yeah, no, we're actually just finishing the online portal. So there'll be a new portal for clients to have all their algos housed in. You'll be able to, with a click of a button, bring up a VPS instantly on your desktop, and then your platform and your algorithm will be pre-installed, making it even easier for clients to sort of basically start trading. And we've got some other sort of software that we're looking at, or more algorithms, if you like, that we're looking to release soon. You've got to design them, you've got to build them, you've got to back test them. But once we're comfortable with it, then yeah, we roll it out to our client base.
Well, fantastic. I'll look forward to seeing that when it comes out. You can find out more about IFXRobot's programs on their website, www.ifxrobot.com. You've been listening to the Armchair Trader podcast. Be sure to visit our website, www.thearmchairtrader.com, for daily updates on trading, investment, and financial markets around the world.